Should be on slide 4. You're going to estimate the word length. Okay, we've got a few estimates. Got them coming in here. So you're just looking at the lyrics and deciding on average how many letters long is every single word. So you got Abby, Eden, Ben's in here. Good. Chris, Kai, Cheyenne, Tessa, Lillian. You haven't taken a stab at it yet. Get your answer in there. I see Jake. Great. Saul. Good, good. Okay, so it's looking like we're going to kind of compile all these results at the end, but it's looking like we've got a lot of people with 5. We've got a couple with 4 or close to 5. Ben says 4.6. Love the decimal. Abby's going with 6. We've got Chris is pretty close to 6 with 5.7, but we've got a lot of 5s. Interesting. Tessa's a 6. Saul, yours is a little lower. That's interesting. 3.5. Again, just your estimate. So you're just looking at it and going, how many letters long do I think each word is? And then you can bop right on along to slide 5. So you're just going to pick 5 words, any 5 words you want, and you're going to get the average for those. See, a couple people have already picked their words. Oh, God. I just pushed buttons. I just did the thing. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Pick your, what are we on? We're on, I'm pushing the button. We're on slide 4 and 5. There we go. Whoa. I want to do this. There we go. Learning how to use this for real now. Okay. Okay, so we've got a lot of words coming in. Interesting. So you're just picking any 5. We'll look at our results here in a second. We've got some people still working. Ooh, Jake, I like your set of words. That's interesting. Talk about it. A minute or two here. Okay, we've got a few people still working. So it looks like we're all out of slide 4 where we just estimated. Got a few people still calculating their averages, so I'll wait another 30, 45 seconds-ish. And we'll kind of talk about what we've got. Interesting things. Okay, while a few people wrap up getting their averages, I'm gonna take a look at some of our data here. So we just eyeballed it, right? You guys just looked at the lyrics and you picked 5 words. Jake, yours is interesting. Why did you pick these words? Do you mind unmuting yourself? Thanks.
So those words are found in almost every line of the song.
Okay, very good. They're very short also. I noticed you picked a lot of short things, but these do come up a lot. I like that. Cheyenne, I liked your answer as well. So you also had a similar thought. There's your 5 words you thought were a good representation because she says them a lot. Chris, same idea. They appear multiple times. So it looks like we've got a little bit of a consensus on that. And then Kai, you picked things from the chorus. I like that. So you picked those because they again happen a lot. So Lillian, I'm going to call on you. Can you explain to us share with the class? Do you mind unmuting yourself? Why'd you pick your words? Yours look a little more mixed up.
I just did looking, love, and crazy because they're like pretty common words that she says, and then understand and on because they're kind of like outliers, like one's super long and then one's really short.
Okay, so great. So what I'm hearing you say is you've got essentially different lengths. You tried to go with some long ones and some short ones when you picked randomly. Saul, do you mind unmuting yourself and telling us why you picked these words? You kind of have a similar thing to Lillian, different lengths.
I said it's because they're like in the beginning of the song, because that way they're like, because when you like make a song, like the beginning part's always like one where you're like the most motivated.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I like that. That's an interesting thought. I'm also noticing on yours we've got some long and some short words. When we're thinking of the whole song, we want to make sure we represent all the options. Tessa, let's look at yours. Yours are interesting too. You've got a lot that look kind of the same length. It's interesting how different people look at different things. Okay, so let's look at your averages then. So we've got, this is going to be a struggle. I'm clicking on lots of things. Okay, here we go. Virtual learning. All right, I'm going to click on somebody's. Boom. All right, so Chris, you've got a 5.4. Where do I click? Okay, Aiden, let's take a peek at yours. 5.6. Let's see, Cheyenne, what was yours? You had a little bit of a mix. Also 5.6. Interesting that they're all kind of similar. Now Jake's, yours is going to be low, right? You got like 1.8. You got a lot of short words. Lillian, you had the word understand in there. Oh, your average was also 5.6. Isn't that interesting? Okay, let's go ahead then and continue on. Let's sample another way. You're going to randomly sample this time. So we're on slide 7. So you're going to push a button. It's going to generate some word, which number you're going to choose from the list here. So I have all the words numbered. And you're going to push the button, and then it's going to tell you which word you're picking, and you're going to find the average of those. So you're going to do that. Take a minute or two to generate your things. And this is by random selection. So if you have any questions when you're generating your random numbers, which correspond to words on the list, let me know. Drop it on the chat or unmute. If you're stuck on anything. Okay, you see a lot of people here starting to calculate. Get that average. Okay, looks like we're getting data populated here. So make sure you're putting in an answer once you have your data. So once you're on slide 9, you'll see our data with the dot plots I've got here. It should populate, and then we'll take a look and see what people think. So you'll want to kind of type in what you see. We've got 3 different sets of data. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to look at some of your answers here. There's a lot of great thoughts coming in. You guys are noticing a lot of good things and getting a lot of good thoughts down. So let's take a peek. We have 3 different methods we used, and they result in 3 different pictures. Go figure. So, Abby, I'm going to kind of start with your answer here. I like what you've got. You're noticing that some of the data is near the edge of the range. So, yeah, like we've got like, whoa, some crazy points. Other people notice that those might be outliers. Aiden mentioned that as well. These kind of weird points that are just very disconnected. Abby, I like your question of like, if we had more people in the class, how would this change? Like if we had more dots, usually with a smaller class, I have you do it twice, but for the sake of time today, we're not going to do that. But that is a great wondering to have. Ben, why am I not asleep? Yeah, it's the same. But we have some, you're using a word here. We have a skew on one of these. Yeah, the student chosen words appears to start to skew. That's a good noticing. Cheyenne, I like yours, your wonderings, why some averages are higher or lower depending on the letters chosen. So like, there was different people, some people got like the 10-letter word, some people got 7, like it all random though. So that's a good thought to have. Chris, you have the same thought. I wonder how much, if we have more people, that's fair. So let's take a peek. A lot of similar thoughts here as I'm skimming through. Saul, we're going to go to your wondering. Why are the student chosen words high and varied? So when we look at the blue dot plot, you can see that the student picked words are centering up a lot higher, kind of similar to the estimate. So let's brainstorm a little bit. Why do we think these two, the yellow and the blue, are centered higher than the red one? Let's share some thoughts. Kai, I guess we'll start with you. Why do you think the blue words, the student picked words, have a higher center? Just share us your thoughts. Remember, you're looking at paper. So.
Right. I'd probably guess that it's higher because
when you're looking, you're just looking at the paper. Where do you think your eye goes?
Right to the middle.
To the maybe the bigger words. The bigger words maybe stand out a little more when you're visually. Now if you're this maybe is Jake down here. I don't know. He looked at the smaller words. So visually, it's easy to just look and say, I'm going to pick these words, right? Thank you, Guy. But generally, your eyes are going to just naturally go to the big words or the small words, and you're not necessarily going to be super representative of all of the lengths of the words by just looking. But it is easy to do that. Same with the estimate. A lot of you had like 5 for your estimate because 5 sounds like a good number. So that's kind of a similar thing. Easy to estimate, but maybe not the most accurate. With random, though, we get things a little more together, and we're getting them centered a bit lower. So let's take a look at the things. So, pushing the button. Okay, so based on our data now, what do we think the average word length is for all the words? So if you had to estimate, Cheyenne, love that, you're right on point. Just boom, there's the answer. What do we think? Like if you had to look at these 3 dot plots, where would you feel good about, where would you convince yourself that the average word length is? Go ahead and give us an answer, and we'll see what you think. You've got Abby, Aiden, Cheyenne typing things. Just give us your thoughts. So if you had to use these to convince yourself, the dot plots, how would you do that? See, a lot of people have 4. Aiden's a little higher. Kind of the 4 ranges here. Ooh, and you changed yours a little bit. You went down. Interesting. Okay, while people are kind of dumping their answers in here, Aiden, do you mind unmuting yourself and telling us how you picked 4.8? Like, where did your eye go? Like, what did you look for in the dot plots?
For choosing 4.8, I just kind of looked at some of the most common values and then like compared it to some of the lower values that I saw and just like adjusted it a bit for that.
Okay, so looking at the peaks kind of is where your eye was going. So where the data is kind of peaking, where a lot of it is. I like that. Cheyenne, your answer of all the plots are in the 4 range. I would agree with that. Let's look at Tessa. You have some thoughts here. Oh God. Okay, so Tessa, you're gonna use. I don't know if I. Oh, okay. You're gonna use the. I don't know what I just did. You're gonna use the random. You're using the random one. Tessa, can you unmute yourself and tell us why you would estimate off of the red dot plot? Why would you do that?
Because it's like a random sample, so there really isn't any bias that would like affect the wording.
Oh, bias. Okay, that's interesting. Ben, if you're there, which of the dot plots do you think are a little biased in terms of how we sampled the words? Do you mind unmuting yourself, Ben?
Which one's the most biased? It's
Yeah.
I feel like it's the I don't know, the student chosen words.
I would agree. Why do you feel like it's that one? It's a good gut instinct.
Because earlier they guessed their own numbers, so they want to prove their numbers right, so they would choose numbers similar to what they predicted.
Yeah, yep. So they had you kind of pick some things, and then you're going to estimate some things, and then like this is easy to do, but again, like your eye's going to go to different places, and then you're going to have your own like passion about certain words you want to pick. So the first 2 are kind of biased, and because of that, the data is a little more varied than the random one. The random one, you kind of just get random stuff. So let's take a peek at what we just did. So the sampling method we used when we chose our own words, because that's easy to do. So in statistics, that's called a convenience sample because it's convenient, it's easy. Now, what we want to think about is why do we think that was less accurate? And we already kind of said this. You don't need to type everything in because we're going to have to sample a few more things here. But we already kind of said like people are going to look at certain words and all of that. So that's not going to be super accurate. It's easy, but not accurate. So let's take a look at the what am I doing? Picking the next slide. Okay, that's my chair is squeaking. All right, it's fix that. Okay, so let's take another peek. Instead of taking a random sample of 5 words, let's now take 10 words. So we're just going to make a prediction here on slide 13. What do you think the dot plot would look like if I sampled 10 words at a time? So you can draw a little sketch in there. So where do you think if I took 10 words instead of 5, what would happen to my data? What do you think would happen to the dot plot? We're going to sample more words. Okay, a lot of responses here. So interesting. I'm going to take a couple screenshots of things. So it looks like we still have our data a little varied. Lillian, I'm not calling you though. I'm gonna, if you don't mind unmuting yourself. Why did you put your data the way you put it?
Because I feel like if you have more data, then it'll start to show the like average. Like for the sample size of 5 words, it was 3.5 or whatever it was. So then I feel like the more you add, like it's probably just gonna stay close to that size, and then like maybe have some like outliers, I guess.
Okay, I like your thought. Yeah, the population, so all of the words, the average of all the words in Crazy in Love, I actually did go calculate that, is 3.53. So if we increase our sample size, I guess we're going to increase kind of our snapshot of all of those words, right? So we're going to have more words we're collecting, which could help us represent the words that are in the song a little bit better. So we've got a lot of similar answers here. Chris, I'm gonna call on you, friend. I love your dot plot here. Chris, can you tell us why? Do you mind unmuting yourself? Tell us why you put your dots the way yours did. Yours look a little more squished, a little less variable in the 10 word sample. Why'd you do that? No, we can't hear you. That's okay though. That's all right. It looks great. If you want to drop your thought in the chat, you can. Chris's is a little less variable because we're getting more words together. So kind of like the do now, we want to make sure we represent all the words. So let's take a peek. Let's actually do the 10. We'll probably end with this today, based on where we're at here. Oh God, clicking the right button for me. Okay, so we're gonna do it for 10. So let's take a peek. For slide 14, you're gonna generate your 10 words and then try to get an average as quickly as you can. This one I know takes a little more adding. And then we'll just kind of see where things are and if Beyonce actually wrote her own stuff. So go ahead and take a minute or so here. Looks like we're already getting some data. Ben's got his data. Aiden's got some of his. Saul's got some data here. Got Grace's data. Some people in here. Okay, looks like we're getting some data. We got about 2 minutes left. So give us your thoughts as you're getting them. So you've got a lot of people have their words picked, getting their averages. I know the 10 words takes a little longer. Okay, so what I'm gonna leave you with a couple final instructions. I gotta keep it interesting and keep you coming back for more. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we haven't answered our question yet. Did Beyonce write her lyrics? We haven't answered that yet because we're still in our data collecting process. So what I'm going to do, what you're going to do is wrap up your 10 words, get your data in there on slide 16 and then 17. We want to actually try to answer this question. Do we think Beyonce wrote the song or not? So you're going to go all the way through slide 17 and give us your final thoughts of yes or no. And then tomorrow, we're going to answer this question officially. So I'm going to add in a little piece before you do your test corrections tomorrow. We're going to add in kind of wrapping this up. So there'll be a little video in there revealing the truth of did Beyonce actually write her own lyrics and did we figure it out using the power of statistics? So please wrap up and give us your final thoughts up to slide 17. Once you've got that, you can pop on out of here to your next virtual class. And then we'll reveal the true answer tomorrow. So get pumped about it. Try to contain your excitement. So thank you for joining today. We will see you all on Wednesday officially.